Nancy, up to you with the Red Cross to see whether we can get a bit more information on exactly what is going on in Turkana.
Right, thank you, Wilson. Well, of course, this is not a new conflict. For decades now, peace between the Turkana and Pokot communities in the Rift Valley has been elusive. These conflicts so far have been associated with resource competition, cattle rustling, and also the wide availability of small arms. And this latest incident, of course, scores have been killed, several injured after this raid by bandits on that village along the Turkana-East Pokot border. Well, to help us understand some of the challenges between the two tribes and the barriers between the present conflict and the way to peace, tonight we're going to speak to Kilu Kioko. He's the head of monitoring and evaluation at the Kenya Red Cross. Thank you so much for coming this evening.
Thank you very much.
And you mentioned to me while Dennis Onsarigo's story was going on that you were part of that operation, weren't you?
The previous operation.
The previous operation.
Yes, yes.
So you know pretty well what's happening with this situation. Okay, well, one of the first things, as Joe Ageo mentioned, the first casualty is information. We still don't have a very good handle on how many people have died. Do you have any better idea what the death toll is at the moment?
No, generally, Nancy, what is happening is this is a remote area, really with difficulty of access. As we talk to you now, our teams led by the county government, the CEC for Health, have just arrived from a distance of almost 30 kilometers. They left at the operational base camp in Chemoligot early this morning, and they are only able to be back by 6. And there's no road network, there's no telephone communication. We can only get in touch with the ground teams by VHF vehicle radios, and it's really a not operational area. Yeah.
So there is not even an estimate, a concrete estimate that you have.
They had to call off the operation because of darkness. As I said, the access is from where they leave the vehicles. They have to walk kilometers trekking, and we're up to now, we don't have the real estimate. So we have only evacuated around 9 people have already been evacuated to Chemoligot District Hospital, and they may be further referred to either Nakuru or Baringo District Hospital, but that will be determined by the other experts on the ground. But so far we don't have the actual numbers. As I said, the access is a major implication of this area. So
no real updates at the moment?
No real updates at the moment, but the teams are already on the ground.
The teams are there, and we will find out.
By tomorrow, we should be able to get the rough figures of real estimates of the number of fatalities and number injured in this.
Right. Now, this conflict has been going on for decades, and there have been several peace meetings. I think the Red Cross has supported a lot of these. Since December 2013, there have been more than 5, and we keep saying we're going to see resolutions, we're going to see changes. I was looking at a report from just last year that said the situation has improved, but this latest incident seems to definitely suggest otherwise. Is this a case of a situation that is getting worse?
Yeah, generally, I think looking at even the data received from our Emergency Operations Center here in Nairobi, we are reporting over 50 instances since January of armed conflict in northern Kenya, northeastern and North Rift alone. Over 50 instances have been reported within our and we are seeing an increasing frequency, an increasing and also the increasing magnitude of these operations. What we are also seeing and what we are also getting from the ground the last time we were there and we were talking to the locals is immemorial, this issue of cattle rustling in fighting was associated with maybe some things to do with ceremonies, circumcision ceremonies, things to do with weddings and all those kind of things.
It was cultural.
It was cultural, so to say. But nowadays we are seeing a mix of some kind of a systemic kind of continuous attack, the approaches and even the scheming of how this is done. And then the worrying part is the magnitude of the number affected with any single attack. So this brings now the complexities.
So people have pointed to 3 things in the past: water, cattle, grass. They say that resources are really at the heart of this conflict. Would you agree with that assessment, or would you say there are other factors in play?
Basically yes, and basically no. The resources is one. Now look at the water, the whatever, as one factor. But we are also seeing issues around border issues. I remember the last time we were doing a cholera operation there, the issue of where to take patients to which hospital is an issue, which like the place called Capedo. There are issues about where does Capedo, does it belong to the Turkanas, does it belong to Pokots, and there are also indication of border being a major issue in this, and also natural resources are coming in. The issue about geothermal power in those areas, and how this is utilized by the locals is something also trying to come. So yes, there are the resources, scarcity of resources, but we are also seeing new emergent issues coming up.
Which one worries you the most? Which one of those new emerging issues do you find most troubling?
The most troubling issue is really goes back to the resources, but I'm saying there, there are those we call them the contributing factors, because since time immemorial those things were there. But now the issue of, does this area really belong to us, or does this area belong to the others? The issue of moving people, shifting manyatas, because they burn the manyatas so that they move the places. We had an interesting scenario the last time we were doing this operation, and particularly where these incident attack were called Nadome. Physically, Nadome on map is not the physical. What is available on the map as Nadome is not the physical
what's on
one.
The ground.
Well, when you got the ground where they were flying there with a chopper, and when the pilot could see the Nadome on the map, we went down. But when we went on the ground, they say, no, this is not Nadome. Nadome is another place. So even the mix of the names and the locality is also another issue coming into play.
Some clear boundary
basically,
issues.
as I said, resources again is also something to, and again, poor infrastructure in some of these areas. Yeah.
Well, this obviously has far-reaching effects. More than 164,000 people have been displaced by these conflicts, and that may seem like just a number, but that's actually more than everyone who lives in Nyeri town.
Yeah.
The population there is 125,000, and the effects of this are far-reaching. Women and children are suffering. They've been displaced. Do you think that Kenya is paying enough attention to this situation, or is this a case of what happens in the north stays in the north?
No, I think it's becoming it's a Kenyan concern. All actors are on board. Just give an example, like now the team deep down in Ndome is being led by the CC Health for Baringo County. Kenya Red Cross is there, and other players are there. The political leaders are already on the ground. So it is getting the attention that is required. Is only that we need now to go deep into the root causes of some of these things and look at it. Is it something? Is this kind of conflict going to be? Are there reasons associated with it, or can we say it's scientifically is a genetic kind of a conflict, which we may not say so. But again, going deep down, where are we looking at? Those are some of the things we will continuously continue dialogue with the main people, the leaders on the ground, the communities themselves, the young youth, and also how they are engaged into these activities.
And certainly we'll be hoping for a lasting solution.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us tonight, and of course we will stay in touch for more details as they do come your way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. I'll hand you back to Wilson.